Yo, what's going on? It is Vototimus here, and I am back again with another video. I'm trying to hit 2,000 subscribers. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe. And if I do hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the month, I will be dressing up as Pomni from the Amazing Digital Circus for one live stream and one YouTube video. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe, like the video, hype it up, comment down below, tell me what you would want for a Five Nights at Freddy's Chapter 2 in Dead by Daylight. So, let me go ahead and get started with the video and with the topic here. I do think at some point in the future we are going to be getting a Five Nights at Freddy's Chapter 2. I feel like it's inevitable. The first Five Nights at Freddy's Chapter did super well, and Scott seems to be collabing with a lot more video games and even putting out a legit Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. So I believe at some point we will be getting more Five Nights at Freddy's content in Dead by Daylight. It's just a matter of what? Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that off rip, we are not going to be getting anything from the first 3, probably even 4 games. I do not see that happening. I would love to have Nightmare as a killer from Five Nights at Freddy's 4, but I do not see that happening. We already got our Five Nights at Freddy's 3 representation with Springtrap, and that was just the best killer to pick from Fnaf. And I do not think we're going to see anything from the first 2 games. One could argue that we could get Security Breach or Secret of the Mimic. A lot of people do want the Mimic as a killer. Personally, I do not. There are some people that want Ennard as well from Sister Location. Personally, I do not want that either. I'm going to tell you what I would prefer and what I think would be the best option for a Five Nights at Freddy's Chapter 2. The movie. And I know that you're already probably a little bit upset because I'm sure you'd rather have video game representation than having just a flat-out movie representation chapter, but I believe that the best option for a Five Nights at Freddy's chapter would be to just go with Five Nights at Freddy's 2, the movie. Specifically. And again, I know that this movie is kind of weird because there are some people that really like it. There's some people that really hate it. I don't mind it. I think it's a bit flawed as a film, but I think it's still very enjoyable. But I would pick this movie. And here's what I would exactly want for this chapter. And here we go. We are not surprised. The Marionette. This is exactly who I was thinking of for a while. I think that if we're going to get a new killer that isn't Springtrap, I think the Marionette would be the best choice. And I think that it could be the coolest option as well. I don't know really what abilities you would give Ennard or Mimic. Maybe you guys can comment that down below. But I know for a fact that we could get something really cool with the Marionette. Possession. The Marionette in the movie possesses McKenna Grace's character and Abby. And I think that it'd be really cool to possess survivors in the game. Imagine, now this is just a rough draft, but imagine that you possess a survivor, and then while you're possessing them, if you throw down a pallet, it breaks. If you vault a window, it gets blocked off for X amount of time, right? You could probably do some other things with that, balancing issues, you know what I mean? I don't exactly know what would be the best case scenario for that, but I do know that dropping a pallet and breaking it just by possessing a survivor would be pretty cool and interesting. I think that possession would be really sick because it's something we don't have in Dead by Daylight yet. And the Marionette does it, and does it really cool too. You could even give survivors their own dedicated like Marionette face. I do think that would be kind of awkward for licensed survivors. I don't know if that could happen. At most, maybe they just have to do glowing eyes. Who knows? But I think possession could be really cool for an ability. And honestly, again, really thinking about the other characters in Five Nights at Freddy's, I don't know what power you could really give them that would make sense or be cool or unique. And this is the best option. This is, in my opinion, I think Marionette, it's very nostalgic for me. I would be very excited to get Marionette. And I think that possession would just be super unique and cool. You could obviously give Marionette mobility as well. Marionette does move fast, does slink around. She does it in the movies, or the movie quite a bit. So you could give the killer mobility. I know that that's kind of boring because there's so many killers that have mobility, but I just feel like at this point, 9 times out of 10, you just kind of need mobility as a killer. Or maybe you can make it so that the possession that you do is super far range. I don't know. You could all discuss that. Who knows? But I'm thinking just straight up right now that possession and mobility is the best thing to give this killer. And I know that some of you are also probably thinking, though, that, like, well, this breaks Scott's rule of he doesn't want a child to be a killer. But I feel like, you know, since the main antagonist of this film was the Marionette anyway, I feel like it'd be fine to bring them in as a killer, especially if, like, there's an easy workaround here. When she's in the entity's realm, she could just see people that she hates and wants to kill. Like, her whole goal in the film is to make parents suffer, right? So it'd be cool if, you know, you could have an easy workaround that the entity is making her see, like, just flat out adults, parents, all this jazz, so she would want to kill them. So I feel like that could totally work. So that is who I would do for a killer. That's not all, though. Survivor. Mike, of course, this is a no-brainer. If we're going to be doing a movie chapter, we have to have Mike. Not only Mike, Vanessa as well. We did not get a survivor for the last chapter, and I feel like to make up for it, we have to get 2 survivors in this chapter, and there are literally no other better options than Mike and Vanessa from the films. I know that there are a decent amount of people that really wanted Michael Afton in the game. I feel like the best you're going to get for that is the movie Michael Afton as a legendary skin. I don't even really see that happening because he's an antagonist. He's not a great guy. But then again, they are adding, I guess, Negan as a survivor anyway. So who cares? You could do that. And I get that there's a lot of people that don't really like that version of Michael Afton. I don't really even care for that version of Michael Afton. But we're following the movie here. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to do that. Plus, Michael Afton doesn't even have a design in the games themselves. So I don't really know how people wanted a Michael Afton from the games as a survivor. These are your 2 best options. And I feel like these make complete sense. And I would personally like them anyway. So there you go. Killer, Marionette, survivors, Mike and Vanessa. That's not all, though. And I know this is going to sound weird. And this is going to sound like a lot of work. However, I think the Five Nights at Freddy's location, the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza location that's in Dead by Daylight needs to be taken out of the Withered Isle. You need to redo the whole outside of it. You could leave the building completely untouched. You could keep it the exact same. But you need to redo the outside of it and make it its own realm. And then if you do that, you could add the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria location from the second film. Which I would once again argue that this location is cooler than the location in the games. And it's because of this boat ride. This would be really, really sick. I think this whole building is designed really, really sick as well. Over towards the left area, I didn't get a picture of this, but there is like a shipwreck area. So that's really cool. I just think that this whole location would be really sick as a map. And then if we had the first Freddy's location and the second Freddy's location as its own realm, so many people would be so much happier with that if it was taken out of the Withered Isle and it was just its own thing with its own offering as well. It would be really, really sick. And I feel like that would help make the first chapter even better. You know what I mean? Speaking of making the first chapter even better, I don't have an image of it, but I think it would be really smart to just add a legendary skin of the Yellow Rabbit again, but this time with the mask and no battle damage as well. You could also alter the voice to be like him speaking in the mask so it sounds different, you know what I mean? So I think that that would be really sick for a legendary skin as well. And talking about skins too, for Marionette, you could add the Nightmarion as a skin, as well as McKenna Grace as a skin. That would be, I don't know about you guys, but I think that'd be pretty cool. I would actually want McKenna Grace as a skin for the Marionette, because she was really creepy in the movie. She did a really good job with it, so I think it'd be really sick to have her as a skin. So yeah, that's what I would do. And you know what else I would do? Not only would I put out this chapter, but something that we kind of missed out on the first chapter, we don't have like any charms, like at all. I would personally really like it if when this chapter ever happens, if I was in control of this and this was my, this killer, these survivors, this map, we change the first map, we make it its own realm. What I would also do is I would make it so that when the chapter releases, there's a rift that releases with it with a whole bunch of Fnaf cosmetics. You could give other survivors cool looking maybe security uniforms. You could maybe transform other killers into different FNAF animatronics, like the Foxy skin we thought we were going to get. You could put that in the rift. So I just think that would be a really good idea overall. We'd finally get charms like the plush trap charm maybe, or the Freddy Fazbear's plush. That would be really cool. So that's what I would do. That's what I would do. So let me know in the comments below what you would do. Would you be okay with a Five Nights at Freddy's Chapter 2? What do you think of my concept for a Five Nights at Freddy's Chapter 2? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What would you do? Who do you want as a killer? What do you think their power would be? And if you do agree with me, if you do want this, how would you fully flesh out Marionette's power? Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you hype. Comment down below. And I appreciate you for being here. Peace out!